You may notice something a bit different about this video. If you haven't noticed it yet, there are two microphones in frame. But this is not one of those videos where I tell you the difference between this microphone and this microphone and this microphone, because let me give you a hint. They were all the same microphone. What I'm going to tell you instead is how to make this microphone sound like this instead. What's up, guys? Brett here, aka Serial SC. I'm with Latency, and I want to talk to you guys today about some audio issues that a lot of people face. And this isn't about how one microphone is better than the next microphone. There's no sponsorship in this video. There's no microphone that I'm going to tell you to buy specifically. This is all about fixing common problems that you see with audio that are actually easily fixable, especially with OBS. Because let's face it, not all of us get to sit in a room like I'm sitting in exactly at this moment, which is only about 40 decibels at dead silence. This isn't even how I normally sit in this room. There are no fans on, there's no AC on, this room is dead silent currently. The way I normally sit in this room, closer to 60 decibels. This is with my fan on and my portable AC running. And I'm going to show you guys how to make it where people can't hear that stuff running in the background, even though your room may be 60 decibels or possibly even more. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first two things that people tend to get wrong with their microphones are placement and orientation. For this, we're going to be using this microphone, which is an Audio-Technica AT2020. As you may know, this is one of the most popular microphones on the planet for streamers and podcasting purposes. They go for around $100 in the basic form on Amazon, and if you add accessories on, they're $150, maybe a little bit more. So definitely be on the lookout for those. The microphone right next to it is the Pseudotech ST800. This is very similar to like Neewer NW800, or really any of the 800 series mics. This is your standard run-of-the-mill, cheap USB Amazon microphone. Nothing special about it, just a condenser mic. They run for around $50 for this particular one, and maybe a little bit less for the Neewer models. The placement and orientation on these two microphones is exactly the same. You'll find that there is a label that has the brand name right on the front, Pseudotech on this one, Audio-Technica on this one, and that is where you need to be speaking into the microphone. That needs to be facing your face, no matter where the microphone is oriented around you. It needs to be facing you directly in order to get the most sound out of the microphone. As far as distance goes, they say you should be between 4 and 12 inches from where you're speaking to where your microphone is. I'm about 10 inches away from mine right now, just to give you an idea. I do move around a little bit, so I like to keep it in that range to give myself a little bit of variance to move in, move out, but that seems to give me the best overall sound. I'm speaking directly towards the words on the front of these microphones. If they do say back, it will be back here on the back, so just make sure that it's oriented and placed in a manner that makes sense with where you're sitting or standing, streaming, talking, making your videos, whatever. Now we're going to go through the next way to improve the sound of your microphone, and that's going to be OBS filters. Now we're getting to the fun part. So this is my Audio-Technica AT2020, this mic right here, with no filtering turned on. This is how it would sound if you just loaded it into OBS and pushed the record or the start streaming button and did not add any filters to it. As you can see, you can kind of hear everything in the room, so this is not a great experience for viewers or listeners. So once you have your mic already added into OBS, easiest thing to do is just right click on it, click filters, here are the audio filters, there are none listed currently. I'm going to do the plus button and hit the compressor first, leave it as default name of compressor, and here are the default settings. Now you probably didn't hear much of a difference with the compressor. What it does is it takes those really loud sounds and really quiet sounds and it pushes them towards the middle. So the loud ones get quieter, the quiet ones get louder, so that it's a more level experience for your listeners. So the next one I add is going to be the noise suppression. Now there's a noise gate. I don't use that in most cases. That just cuts off sounds that are too quiet, and I don't like the results that I get with that in most cases. So we're going to use noise suppression. Here we go, default settings, boom. As you can see, RN noise. Now, these are the only two filters that I use on my microphones, on these two microphones. So now the order does matter. So that's why they give you an up arrow and a down arrow, because it processes this versus this, depending on the order that it's in. I prefer the sound that I get by having my compressor first and noise suppression second. You can look this up online. People will tell you all different things on what's right and what's wrong, but honestly, it comes down to your setup, your room, your microphone. So experiment with the order on the filters and see what works best for you. Also, for noise suppression, currently using RN noise. There's also speaks. It does give you lower CPU usage. It does have a little different sound to it. Now, as you can tell, the reason that we have kind of weird sounds is, remember, it's loud in this room. So we're trying to make it not sound like this, but instead sound like this. So I think it's doing a pretty good job. Now we'll shift to the pseudo-tac, and I'll show you that I used the exact same filters on the pseudo-tac, both with default settings, and this is the results that I get. The only thing you'll notice on the pseudo-tac versus the AT2020 is right here, I actually have to bring it down 2 decibels on the pseudo-tac to make it closer to what the AT2020 sounds like. And to be honest with you, that's one of the few reasons I actually use the pseudo-tac, which is a cheaper mic, as my main microphone. I like the sound a little bit better. Personal preference. It's your own voice. Everyone hates their own voice, but I feel like I like the way my voice sounds a little bit better on that pseudo-tac, so maybe let me know if I'm wrong and I should be using the AT2020 instead. I mean, they're both right here. It's dealer's choice, right? I can use whichever one. Now, here's where it starts to get a little bit tricky. This is a HyperX Cloudflight S wireless. As you can tell, it pretty much sucks for this. It's designed for chat. It's not designed for streaming. It's actually called the HyperX Chat audio channel, so it's really just not designed for that. But in this case, we can still make chat sound better if we want as well. So HyperX is added on here. Same thing applies. We're gonna go to filters. Let's start with the compressor. Let's just leave it on default. Let's add that on. Let's also go to the noise suppression. Let's put this guy in. And those results are clearly much better than what you get by default. Now, on something like this, you may want to play around a little bit, and you can look, this is too much detail for the scope of this video, but you can look at what some of this stuff does. But you may want to increase the ratio on something like the compressor, or possibly even change the threshold down a little bit. Maybe that gives you better results. Your microphone, it's going to be totally different than mine. Your room is going to be totally different than mine. But this is really a way to get you started on making the microphone not sound like this in a loud room, but definitely make it sound more like this in a loud room. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. Get that placement, get that orientation right, put those filters in there in OBS, and hopefully that helps you out. It doesn't matter which mic you have, obviously, whether it's an expensive mic or a cheap mic, or even, you know, the top-end mics are going to sound totally different, but that's not what most of us are using here. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit to get a little better sound, especially if you have a lot of noise in your room. Let me know if I missed anything. Just comment below and let me know, hey, you should have thought of this, or, you know, have you tried this instead, or hey, that mic sounds like crap, use the other one instead. I mean, I don't know, you know, just let me know what you guys think, and definitely make sure to like and subscribe and follow us, and, you know, we'd love to give you guys more tips. So let us know if there's anything you want to know about. We have a huge team, they have all types of knowledge, and we kind of gather it all together and throw it in these videos. So definitely hit that subscribe button and follow us, and let us know if you want to see anything else from us in the future. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.